Damien, was a bit emotional, those scenes after the game with all those guys that you'd spent a lot of time with?
Yeah, it is. It's one of the great things about our game, but also one of the sad ones when you see champions of the game leave. And I think that the Tigers did it really, really well. First and foremost, to get Dustin back in the country is an incredible achievement. When he wasn't sure he'd make it back, but to see those three boys, it was such an integral part of their premierships, or our premierships, I should say, and they get the send off they did. The Richmond faithful did a terrific job. So job well done.
You're pretty grateful that you got a chance to be a part of that.
Yeah, look, it sort of worked out well, doesn't it? Like we see each other enough, sort of thing. But it's funny even from the week seeing those guys retiring and seeing little bits and pieces of their speeches. You do get emotional because you form that emotional connection with a group of men that you go through with, or a group of people, really, I should say. And I'm looking at that journey now with our guys, starting to get the understanding about what our boys are all about and how they operate. And that's one of the things I reckon as a coach you really look forward to, the strengthening of those relationships. So I've been fortunate enough to have a significant period of my life at that the Richmond Footy Club. Can't wait, and then started my journey at the Gold Coast Suns. I'm looking forward to that as well.
How do you assess your first season with the Suns out to 11?
Well, the game itself probably sums it up. I reckon we did some things really, really well, and then it's funny, me and Ooze were having a joke at the end. There was Richmond killing Richmond and there was Gold Coast killing Gold Coast, sort of things. Both sides were very similar, just with the mistakes. And look, we're both relatively inexperienced sides, and they'll get better and they'll get a greater understanding. But the frustrations for both clubs, and I thought our boys did some really good things, but there's sometimes where we should kick goals that we just leave them on the table, and that'll come through experience and understanding of system. And we did a lot of things right, but we've got certainly a lot of improvement ahead of us. Oh, the ladder will indicate, it is what it is, sort of thing. We lost, we lose 3 games that we should have probably won, sort of thing, that didn't, and that's the jump. Success is not necessarily linear. There's a style of game we play. We play a style I think is pretty combative, and understanding a front half game of what that looks like. We probably just struggled at various stages to control opposition's momentum and probably capitalise on ours. So we know the areas we've got to improve, which is a positive. But look, we finished up with 11 wins, the most by a Gold Coast Suns Footy Club. So there's something to build on. Started to win some away games. We're disappointing last week, but I think our players will take a lot out of it. Like, there's a great bit of play that's probably going to step up, stand out to us. Bodie Ulan marks it, Will Graham lays an enormous tackle, and they give the ball to Jack Rogers, who then nails a kick inside 50. Those guys have played very little football, but they're very, very promising players for us.
Can you take
One of the real highlights has been Sam Flanders' season as well.
Yeah.
Where do you think he sits in the context of the
Yeah, it's a good question. He's a wonderful player, wonderful young man, and to see what I love about Sam, we've started in midfield, we needed him down back, he went back there, could have possibly been All-Australian back, we moved him back up forward, and he's, plays an outstanding game today. So, I think he's one of the premier players in the competition. He's very unheralded. Like, once again, we're playing up in the northern states. We probably doesn't get the recognition that he will, which is sort of good in a way, because he probably should get tagged. But we're very, very lucky and very privileged to have him at our footy club, and he's going to be a wonderful player for a long period of time.
How vital is that experience for the young group playing at the MCG in front of a pretty hostile Tigers crowd at times up and down? So how much do you take out of it?
Booing me on the big screen. Anyway, it is great. We want to play here more, but we've got to hold up our end of the bargain. We've got to start being a consistent finals calibre footy side, and we're not there yet. We think we're on the journey, but we also understand that to earn this privilege to play on the great MCG, you've got to play a sustainable brand, and you've got to be a finals calibre side. And we're short of that this year. So the season overall is disappointing from a win-loss perspective. From a process of winning, there's some things that we really, really like, and there's some things that we really take out of. Like I said previously, there's some areas of our game we know we have to improve, and what those are. But we've also got to capitalise and build on the strengths of this footy club, because there's some wonderful talent here and some wonderful phases of play that we can really get some strength out of.
Do you think Bodie Ulan deserves to be a serious part of the rising star?
How good is he? I'm not going to lie, at some stages through the night I wake up thinking about Bodie Ulan. He just does some amazing things, and once again, because we're up north, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. Like, he doesn't look like effectively a first-year player. He's been incredible. He's a great leader by the way he plays, and just incredibly brave. He reminds me of a guy that across the road, Nick Loston, exactly the same. You know, very lucky to have both, or coach both players.
Daniel Rowley looked pretty good for the Tigers today.
Yeah. Oh, look, you know, once again, I can't comment on what I don't know anything about. What I do know, he's been a wonderful player for that club for a long period of time, and you know, he's contracted, so you know, things will play out eventually, sort of thing. We're certainly, from a club, we're looking to improve our list. You know, any good player we'd love to have.
Are you confident Jack Precocious will start the club?
We'd hope so. Look, you know, once again, me and Jack have got a really good relationship. I don't think I've got the best out of Jack this year. He accepts that he's got some area of his game that he can improve, but I've got to figure out what that looks like for us. And you know, he's contracted for a number of years, so as far as I'm concerned, I've got to get the best out of him in Suns colours because he's a very, very good player. You know, we had a little bit of a circuit breaker there a couple of weeks ago when he came back and responded. You know, played pretty well today, played really well last week in the VFL, so he's got a big pre-season ahead of him.
Assuming you sit down with him and all the rest of the guys in the next few days to...
Yeah, next 2.5 days or Monday on are pretty busy, and you know, it's a tough time of year. I've been doing this caper for a long time, but you know, there's some players at their dream ends in AFL circles, so it's really a period of reflection, of mourning in a way, because you sort of lose a player that would love to give anything to play the game, and we've got a lot of players obviously that will go on, but it is a tough period for footy clubs, I think, when they do finish. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.